What's up guys, Sylar here with One Legion TV, and we are back on the World of Warcraft Alpha for Legion, taking a look at Retribution Paladin this time. Now this is going to be a kind of early overview of the class, looking at the spells, the talents, a little bit of the rotation as well, but remember this is Alpha so things can and will change, but it should give you a pretty good idea of how Ret is looking to play for the expansion. So we're going to start out by going through the spells, and first up we have Avenging Wrath. As always, it's staying as a major CD, increases all damage done, and healing by 50% for 20 seconds. Blade of Justice, this is new, a 12-second cooldown, 12-yard range, and strikes an enemy with a Blade of Justice, dealing 30k holy damage and generating 2 holy power. So that's quite a lot of holy power. Blessing of Freedom is going to stay as it is. You're going to put it on someone, it's going to grant them immunity to movement and impairing effects for 6 seconds. Blessing of Kings is kind of how it was, but it's a little different now. Place a blessing on an ally that grants them an absorption shield. It absorbs 6k damage and will be refreshed to full strength every 6 seconds, even if fully consumed. You may only have 3 total active of Blessing Kings, Blessing Might, and Blessing of Wisdom. So it seems like you're only going to be able to put 3 of these on people. They're going to be more like controlled buffs rather than just like a raid-wide buff. So a little bit interesting. So you put that on like a tank, and you put Blessing of Might on like a strong DPS. So place a blessing on an ally that causes their attacks to have a 10% chance to deal 30% additional damage as holy. You may only have 3 total active as always. And then we have Blessing of Protection. And this is always as it is, and put it on and it'll it'll stop them from being hit by physical attacks. Then we have Blessing of Wisdom. It's back and it's a little bit different. You put it on someone, it's going to gain them 1% maximum mana every 15 seconds. So say, you're late into a fight and your healer's like, man, I need mana. You throw Wisdom on them and they'd be getting some mana back. And it also causes them to have a chance to get 5% of their health back when they take damage. So it's interesting. It doesn't really work right now. It literally just heals me for 15k every time I use it instantly on no GCD. So it's a little OP, but it's obviously broken. Crusader Strike, same as always, 5-second cooldown, and an instant strike that causes 21k damage and grants 1 holy power. Divine Shield, the same as always, 5-minute cooldown, protects you from all damage and spells for 8 seconds. Divine Storm, a Wall of Divine Energy, dealing 31k holy damage to all enemies within 8 yards. That's going to consume 3 holy power, so that is our AoE. Execution Sentence, that's a talent, so we're not going to talk about either of these two. Flash of Light, same as always, you're going to pop it. It's going to have a 2-second cast, it's going to heal you for 36k, but it's going to use 11k mana. So you're going to get 4 off before you go completely Guiding Light, that is our Sanctuary, that is our class hall, so we're not going to talk about that. Hammer of Justice stuns target for 6 seconds, same as always. Hand of Hindrance, this is a little new. 30-second cooldown, place a hand on the enemy target, reducing their move speed by 70% for 10 seconds. So that's pretty big. That's a big slow for a decent amount of time. And it's got a bit of a range to it as well, 25-yard range, so that's going to be our kind of gap closer in a sense. Hand of Light, this is new as well. 1-minute CD, 25-yard range, place a hand on an enemy target, healing you for 3% each time the target takes damage, up to once per second. If the target dies, you'll be healed for 40%. That's kind of interesting. That's, yeah, that's pretty cool. Judgment's changed as well. It's now on a 12-second cooldown. Judge an enemy, dealing 7k holy damage and causing the target to take 40% increased damage from your holy power generators and consumers. Now I think I have a talent that increases that. I do. So by default it's 30%, but I've got a talent that makes it 40. Light Hands, same as always. It'll give you all of your health back on a 10-minute CD. Rebuke is our interrupt, 15-second CD. Shield of Vengeance, this is new as well, 30-second CD, creates a barrier of holy light that absorbs 23k damage for 15 seconds. When the barrier is consumed or expires, all damage absorbed is dealt back to your current melee target as holy damage. So, actually that's a talent as well, whoops. Actually no, that's not a talent. Let me just make sure it's not bugged. Maybe it's meant to be a talent, maybe it's meant to be default, I'm not 100% sure on that one. Either way, we've got it. It says it's a talent, but it doesn't appear to be. And Templar's Verdict, a powerful weapon strike that deals 34k holy damage and consumes 3 holy power. So that's going to be our holy power dump. Passives, Conviction, your Crusader Strike and Blade of Justice have a 20% chance to generate 1 holy power. This is a passive, talent passive. Heart of the Crusader, your mount speed is increased by 20%. And Mastery, your Crusader Strike, Blade of Justice, Divine Storm, and Templar's Verdict deal 68% additional holy damage. Retribution, when any party member or raid member dies, you gain 100% increased damage for 10 seconds. So it's a bit of an odd one. You know, it's not really going to see that much use, but when it does, goddamn, you're going to do a lot of damage. And then Sword of Light, increase the damage you deal with two-handed weapons by 30%. So Ret feels a lot more retribution, you know, it feels like you're actually like retributing, well, I don't know what the word would be, but you're punishing someone, you know, and it feels good, like the theme of the spec feels a lot better. Now the unfortunate part is the rotation. You might have heard Exorcism's gone. I didn't talk about Exorcism. And Judgment no longer generates holy power. So that gives us this Blade of Justice and Crusader Strike for holy power generation. One's on a 5-second cooldown, one's on a 12-second cooldown. So if you do the math, there's a gap. A big one. So I'm not really sure what we do about that. And they either need to add a new spell, or we take a talent that I'll talk about in a minute that helps a little bit. So let's take a look at the talents. At 15 we have Execution Sentence. It's now on a 10-second CD and it'll do 43k holy damage over 10 seconds. You can no longer use it on yourself though, it's just a damaging spell. So it only does damage. Tyrillion's Might, this is a kind of like charge. You'll pick it, you'll throw it down somewhere, and then you'll click it again and you'll dash to that location. It'll also do damage wherever you throw it down. So I imagine it'll be like a blade that you throw down. It'll kind of probably do like holy lightning that patches off it, and it'll kind of like hammer. It'll do some damage, and then if you click it again, you'll leap to that location. So it's a kind of a bit of an awkward dash. And then Consecration, our AoE damage spell. Retribution has it back as a talent, and it has a really nice visual. I'll show you that in a minute. Fires of Justice, passive, increase the damage done by Crusader Strike by 25%. Crusader Flurry, 4-second recharge, an instant strike that deals 22k physical damage and grants 1 holy power, has 3 charges. Now this is what I feel like we'll have to use, just to make the rotation feel more smooth. It actually does a little bit more damage than Crusader Strike anyway, so you know, you're not losing out too much on the Fires of Justice. And it gives you 3 charges of Crusader Strike. Finally, we have Zeal, so we're going to actually put that on because that's what I was using previously. I just didn't want to spoil it. Zeal, an instant strike that deals 21k physical damage and grants 1 holy power. Grants Zeal, increasing your attack speed by 20% and causes Zeal to change an additional nearby target per stack. Replaces Crusader Strike. So that's a little bit of a weird one. I don't think you'd take that over Fires of Justice or Crusader Flurry, but it's interesting. Level 45 we have Fist of Justice, a little bit different. Your spells that consume holy power reduce the remaining cooldown of Hand of Justice or Hammer of Justice by 10 seconds. Repentance, same as always, you can cast it to incapacitate an enemy. And then Blinding Light, same as always, cast it and it's an AoE disorientate. Then level 60 we have Virtue's Blade, increase the damage done by Blade of Justice by 25%. We have Blade of Wrath, strike an enemy with Blade of Wrath dealing 19k holy damage and generating 1 holy power. Replaces Blade of Justice, so it puts it on half the cooldown and makes it do half the damage, I think. Actually, it makes it do a little bit more than half. So that could be an option as well to make the rotation feel less clunker. I'm not sure which one would be better, but it's basically these 2 tiers do near enough the same thing. They're there to help the rotation feel less clunker. And then we have Divine Hammer, and Divine Hammers spin around the Paladin, damaging enemies for 8 yards, 4k holy damage instantly, and every 2 seconds for 8 seconds generates 1 holy power. So that'd be the same thing as well, replaces Blade of Justice, you'd use it for AoE. Then 75 we have Judgments of the Bold, make sure Judgment do an additional 10% damage increase. It's pretty big. Might of Virtue, your judgment abilities generate 1 holy power. Not that useful. And Mass Judgment, your judgment spell affects all enemies within 8 yards. That'd be pretty damn nice for AoE as well. Level 90 we have Blaze of Light, a quick and powerful heal that heals for 56k, but it does replace your Flash of Light. So it's basically an improved Flash of Light. Divine Steed, summon a holy charger to ride for 4 seconds, increasing movement speed by 100%, and it's usable while indoors and in combat. So it is probably going to be cool, but I doubt it'll be used. And then we have Eye for an Eye, instantly counterattack any enemy that strikes you in melee for 12 seconds. Melee attacks made from behind cannot be countered. So once again, a very kind of Retribution feeling spell, I like it. But it does cost 3 holy power. And then finally, level 100, we have Final Verdict, increase the damage done by Templar's Verdict by 50%, or 15%. Seal of Light, draw upon the Paladin's holy energy and increase attack speed by 35% and movement speed by 10%. And then we have Holy Wrath, 3 holy power, fires holy bolts at the target enemy, causing 25k holy damage and restoring 4% of the Paladin's health over 2.5 or 2.3 seconds. Deals 50% additional damage to stun targets, so a little bit of a weird one, but yeah, I don't know if that's worth using over a Templar's Verdict because it does cost 3 holy power. So this is roughly how I imagine the setup to be. Maybe you'd use Blade of Wrath as well. I'm not, obviously, the number crunchers need to do the number crunching, but this so far seemed roughly to be what I'd roll with. Now the rotation's a little bit different, obviously, because we've got Judgment now is a big damage increase, so we'd want to start off with, we'd probably start off with Judgment anyway, and then we'd start pooling Holy Power, and we'd get to about 5 Holy Power, and by that time anyway we're going to have Judgment close to being off CD, and then once Judgment's off CD, we'd Judgment, Templar's Verdict, Holy Power Generator, Templar's Verdict, Holy Power Generator, Templar's Verdict. You know, we want to crunch in as many Templar's Verdicts as we can in that period. So we'll give it a go. We'll see what the numbers are looking at. So we want to use Blade of Justice maybe first. I'm not sure with this Blade Flurry spell. Obviously we want to make sure we don't actually get capped. And then we're going to pop that. We're going to pop that. So we get just about 2. Obviously we'd pull down ES and stuff as well. But our spells are hitting extremely hard. I don't know if you've probably not watched my Hunter preview or my Shadow Priest preview yet. If you have, you'll notice the damage difference between some of these spells. Like, we are hitting very, very hard. Now, whether it'll stay like that, who knows? It's still alpha, obviously. But yeah, Ret is looking to be quite strong right now. It's a little bit more clunky to play. There is, you know, a bit of an awkward down period, especially if you're using the Fires of Justice and Virtue's Blade. If you use both of those, then you have this kind of like awkward period in your rotation, which I'll show you now. So we'd like open with Judgment, we'd use Blades of Justice, we'd use Crusader Strike, we'd use Templar's Verdict, and then nothing. And then we'd Crusader Strike, and then nothing. You know, like, and then we'd probably use that, we'd probably Judge, Templar's Verdict, Crusader Strike, Templar's Verdict, and then we've got nothing. And with Templar's Crusader Strike, and then we've got nothing. You know, these are big, big periods in the rotation where we just can't do anything. So it does feel awkward, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm more of like a fast pace. I like something to press all the time. So I definitely feel like Crusader Flurry or Blade of Wrath to make it feel less awkward, but at the end of the day, we'll go with whatever gives us more damage output. If that down period is what's best, then that's what we have to use. You know, unless you're just playing casually, it's whatever. But if you're actually trying to play seriously, you'll use what's best. So I'm hoping that Crusader's Flurry or the Blade of Wrath ends up simming higher, because it just makes the class feel a lot better. In terms of damage output, as I said, Ret is seeming very, very good right now. Like, the overall damage output compared to other things that I've played is high, is one of the highest. So once again, whether it stays that way, who knows, but I have a feeling it's going to be good just because we have Ashbringer. I feel like Blizzard will want Ret to be up there because it has one of the more iconic weapons. Who knows though, you know, that's just kind of a biased point of view. But yeah, that is a look at Retribution Paladin. Now I will quickly show you some of these spells. I'll show you the Tyrellian's Might first because you'll probably want to see that. It doesn't actually work though. So we throw it down, nothing happens. We press it again, we kind of dash to it. So it'll have a cool animation at some point. Then we've got Consecration. As you see, it'll kind of like summon light from the sky. Very, very cool. I don't think Blinding Light changes at all, but we'll give it a go. It's exactly the same. Zeal, we'll give that a try as well. Looks to be exactly the same. What else we got here? Blade of Wrath, we'll give that a shot. Now that effect wasn't actually Blade of Wrath. That's the proc to indicate you got double holy power from it. You got the passive proc. Divine Hammer, we'll give that a go. Actually, it just broke my game. Oh, it didn't even swap this either, so we'll try this again. Couldn't tell because of the animation. Hold on. Unless maybe it does look like that. Either that or we're extremely lucky. Maybe it does. If it does, that looks awesome. I thought it was to indicate the proc. Maybe that's how Blade of Justice looks. And then we'll try Hammer. So it's kind of like a Divine Storm with a little bit more of an effect on it. Looks kind of cool though. I do like that. And then we've got, I guess we'll give Eye for an Eye a go, see if that does anything. Kind of like a retaliation. Divine Steed, last time I tried this didn't work. Yeah, still doesn't work. Blaze of Light, does this do anything? Nope, just looks the same. Seal of Light, let's give that a go. Just gonna have to wait till we generate those 3 holy power. And couldn't really tell. It didn't seem to do anything, but we did have that really big effect going on at the same time. Let's wait for that to go away. Okay, it's gone. Yeah, it didn't seem to do anything. So we'll try Holy Wrath finally. It's probably broke the UI though. If you try and swap too fast, it does kill the UI. Let's give this another go. And there we go. And then we'll Holy Wrath. Yeah, it didn't seem to have much of a visual either. So there we go. That is a look at Retribution Paladin. And overall, I like the way Ret is looking, to be honest. And the whole kind of, it actually feels more like a Retribution Paladin now. It has the class feel, the spec feel to it. If that kind of rotation issue gets fixed, either with the passive, the level 30 talent being viable, or with the, they add a new spell in or something, then I think Ret will be extremely fun to play this expansion. And I think people who play Ret and have played Ret will enjoy it. So that has been a look at Retribution Paladin. Look out for more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.